Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking here in my bedroom in the great state of Kansas. And I again have three friends here, and we're doing another album exchange where we come up with an album for all of us to listen to and review all four albums on the channel and give our thoughts on them anyway. So we got Scott from SoundLab Studios, Nick from Townsend 505, and Bryer from Breyer's Music Showcase. Thanks for joining me again, guys, and doing this. And always fun getting together and sometimes liking an album, sometimes hating it. You never know.
I think the fun
uh,
of these exchanges is just getting to see what other people enjoy listening to, even if we like it or not.
yeah,
So,
it's like, yeah, you're sharing. We love music, so we're sharing our love for music, and you never know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you don't know until you listen to it, I guess. And you discover new bands like UFO. Like, who's ever heard of UFO?
yeah.
I haven't. That's a new band for me. But yeah, that's the fun of it. So we're going with Scott first, then Nick, then Bryer, then myself on our four albums. So Scott, you can take it away first.
Okay. My album, which I forgot to grab the record for, I have it. Shout out to Concert Buddy. Concert Buddy, the YouTube channel, actually sold me his copy of this album from
Oh,
1991 at a discounted price. So, shout out to Concert Buddy. Like and subscribe him. He's awesome. He got me a good deal on the YouTube Achtung Baby 1991 record. But I was going through a U2 deep dive earlier this year. There,
there it
Breyer's
is.
got the CD. um, I could have sworn Joshua Tree was going to be my favorite album. Then I listened to this and I was like, "Holy cow!
Yeah,
They've made an album that's better than Joshua Tree. I can't believe it." The only thing is, you don't think that the first time you hear it. I listened to this album actually last year when I was going through all the 90s and 2000s stuff, and I thought it was okay. You have to listen to this album a few times before it like clicks with you, and once you do, it's like, whoa. um, really great album. The other thing that makes this album really cool is just its historical significance for the band. Before this album, in the late 80s, U2 released this concert film called Rattle and Hum, which I have the album in the
yeah,
DVD for. Um, with Rattle and Hum, a lot of people liked it, but a lot of people did not like Rattle and Hum because they thought it was very pretentious. The whole or a good portion of the movie is in black and white, and it shows you two talking a lot about like American music. They like perform with BB King and Bob Dylan and stuff like that, and it made people think that U2 is comparing themselves to those artists. But what they were really just doing was trying to show, we're from Ireland, but we're trying to discover the music of America. And um, between that and people started getting upset at Bono for going on his political rants at concerts, and they just wanted to hear the
yeah,
songs. And so people had started even back then criticizing U2. And so U2 thought at the end of the 80s, we're going to have to reinvent ourselves because people are starting to not like us. And so at the end of I think there was the New Year's Eve show in 1989, um, Bono like waves to the audience and says, "Goodbye. We're going to have to go back and dream it all up again." And people are like, "What does that mean?" Well, what they did is they come up with this album. They still have Brian Eno and Daniel Lanois producing, but they're starting to incorporate more dance sounds, more electronic stuff, industrial like stuff that was becoming big in the early '90s, kind of getting with the times, so to speak. And not only is this album amazing, the tour for this album is something else. It was called the Zoo TV Tour. And what would happen is behind them, they had a whole wall of TV screens. And this is back before they had the flat screens and these are
yeah.
like the tube TVs. They had a whole line of them standing behind them, and they would just flash and show random words and random TV clips throughout the whole thing. It was supposed to be like a sensory overload kind of thing. And Bono would perform as different characters. You have the Fly,
Yeah, yeah,
who's like this guy who wears a leather jacket and these huge sunglasses, which you probably have seen him in that outfit. Very famous picture of him as the Fly. And then the funniest one is Bono is Catholic, so he makes fun of the devil.
He does a devil thing,
he,
doesn't he?
he the character was called Mephisto, and he comes out in a sparkly jacket and devil horns. And because he was people had told him, we don't want you to do your political things anymore, he thought, I'm gonna have to be creative about how I do my political stuff. So he would come out as this character who was basically the devil, and he would prank call world leaders. Like he prank called the president.
Yep. Yeah.
And would just be like, hello, I'm a big fan of your work. You're
George
doing
Bush at the
wonderful
time, yeah.
things today, spreading all kinds of malicious intent. They like call
Well,
the White
George
House. He would call.
George Bush did not like him. I remember that.
No, he apparently called Mussolini's granddaughter and was like, she's doing a wonderful job following in her grandfather's footsteps. Wonderful job. I'm a big fan. And then he would sing, I think Ultraviolet Light is the song he would sing as this character. But it's like the tour is just bonkers. They did all this crazy stuff. Now for the songs themselves. Pull up the track listing. Zoo Station. Very hypnotic beat at the beginning. I love the drumming on there. I love the guitar. Boo, bow down. Boo, boo, doo. Boom, 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 boom. Very weird sounding, but in a very hypnotic way. There's like a weird effect on his voice. It's just a really cool album opener. Even Better Than the Real Thing is awesome. I love the guitar riff with the whammy pedal. Bow, bow, wow, wee, 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 wee. Chorus is great. Even better than the real thing. One best song on the album. I love that song. Very powerful song. Just incredible lyrics. What do I even say about that song? It's just so good. Until the End of the World is great as well. Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses? I love that song. I love the chorus. I love how just chaotic it starts out, where it sounds like what's going on here. The guitar is just like has this really loud effect, but then it gets very anthemic near the end with the chorus with the like there's like the pre-chorus. Hey, hey, sha-na-na. Hey, hey, sha-na-na. Who's gonna ride your wild horses? And I love the line, you're an accident waiting to happen. You're a piece of glass on the beach. I don't know why, but I think that's a good line there. I love So Cruel. You're so cruel. That's good as well. I don't know about you guys or what you're going to think of this song, but I love The Fly. It's so infectious. It was actually the first single from this album. I love the guitar riff. Another one of Bono's characters he created for this tour. Just like this, he's kind of like a sleazebag kind of guy. He's just like, tell me your secrets or whatever. Mysterious Ways was the other big single on this album. I love that song. Yeah. That song will stick with you from the first time you hear this album, even if you don't like the rest of it. I love the guitar at the beginning. I love the chorus. It's all right, it's all right, all right. She moves in mysterious ways. Yeah, really great. Trying to Throw Your Arms Around the World. I love that one too. Ultraviolet Light. I like that one. Baby, 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 light my way. Acrobat is probably my least favorite song on the album, but it's still really good. And then Love Is Blindness. Really good way to close the album. Very bass heavy as well. Adam Clayton's bass part on that is very good. So yeah, that's Achtung Baby by U2. Top 5 songs for me. Number 5, Even Better Than the Real Thing. 4, Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses. 3, The Fly. 2, Mysterious Ways. And like its namesake, 1 is 1. And I'm giving it a 10.
Number 1. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
All right. So there's 3 albums I listened to for this exchange. I liked 2 of them. I'm sorry, Scott, yours is the odd one out. I didn't care for this album. It's not a bad album, but I'm going by first time impressions because I want to give my first time thoughts. Maybe I should listen to this album again because there is some really good stuff on here. I've heard 2 of their albums and I've come to realize I'm more of a singles fan. I wouldn't say singles, but like some of their bigger hits, especially on Joshua Tree, like the first 3 songs, Where the Streets Have No Name, So I've Found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You. Those are 3 great songs, and the rest of the album just doesn't live up to that. Those first 3 songs. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't make any top 5s for any of these albums because I don't know. I've come to realize that for me, I don't know. I haven't been doing top 5s for these albums, and
Okay.
Zoo Station. I'm not a crazy fan of that album opener. I wasn't crazy about it. Even better than The Real Thing. I thought that was okay. I really liked One. That's a great song.
Yeah, we all agree
That's
on
really
that, brother.
Until the End of the World. That's another great song. I had a good time listening to that one. Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses? I thought was okay. So Cruel was decent. The Fly, I thought was the worst song on the album. I didn't care for that at all.
Interesting.
I didn't like it. Think of it. It's funny. I was calling them a singles band, but I didn't think this was a good single. My opinion. Mysterious Ways, I think it's a great song. Trying to Throw Your Arms Around the World is great. Ultraviolet, I love that song. That's a great song.
Cool.
Acrobat is okay, and Love Is Blindness. That's a pretty good album closer. 5 songs I really liked. One, Until the End of the World, Mysterious Ways, Trying to Throw Your Arms Around the World, and Ultraviolet. Honorable mention, Love Is Blindness. I hate to give this I wouldn't say this is a bad score, but it's not anywhere near a 10 for me. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
That's not bad.
It's not a bad album. Like I said, there's songs I really like. I mean, you probably thought the way I was talking, I was going to give it like a 4 out of 10. No, it's not a bad album. Nowhere near a bad album. I've heard some pretty bad albums before. This is far from a bad album. And, it's like an album that I'm like, you know what? This has potential. I could see myself liking this album, but I gotta listen to it more.
To be fair, this album and Joshua Tree I had to listen to a couple of times before I like Joshua Tree. The first 3 songs stuck with me right away, and I was like, it just goes downhill after that. A few more listens, and I'm like, this whole album's awesome. So maybe you just have to listen to it a bit more.
Yeah, that was actually a more positive review than I was expecting. So
yeah, there's hope.
There's hope. All right, we know about Scott and Nick. What about Bryer?
All right, so of all the three that I had to listen to, this was the only one I already had.
Okay.
Because I've had this CD for a number of years at this point, so I've definitely. But the thing is, it's been a long time since I heard this album because I like U2 quite a bit, but I always go back to the usuals. I usually go back to Joshua Tree or Unforgettable Fire, War. Those 3 I always go back to often. I don't really go back to this one too often for some reason. So it was kind of going to be so I thought to myself, I think this would be a nice kind of chance to give this another listen after a while. Let's see if I missed anything when I first heard it all those years ago. And I will say it was definitely a nice revisit, kind of going back to this album again, because it did remind me there were some great songs that I totally forgot about. So onto the songs. Zoo Station, that was a very solid opening song. The guitars definitely have a much more 90s sort of feel. Of course, that's that's kind of the big thing I also liked. I like the difference, the sounds the guitar was doing from the Edge. And he's always known for experimenting with his guitar sound, and it's definitely no different here. And then there was that vocal effect on Bono's vocals, which was definitely interesting, but overall still thought it was a very solid opening song. Even better than The Real Thing. That's one of the songs I did remember going into it. Like, okay, I think I remember that one. And yeah, it's for good reason. I like the melody to that one. Again, the guitar work is great. Good percussion work from Larry Mullen. Very good percussion from him. That was a very nice follow-up song. And yeah, I do agree. One's definitely one of the best songs on here. Good guitar melody, very strong vocal performance from Bono here with a very good chorus. Very nice one. But spoiler alert, it's actually not my favorite, actually.
Oh, wow.
Shocker. There's a lot of good songs on this album, so I don't blame you.
Oh, yeah. But then we have Until the End of the World. Again, some nice, interesting drumming work on here. Melody's pretty good, pretty decent song. And then you have Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses. This is the song I remember the most. Like whenever I
Okay.
thought of this album, this is the song I always thought of because that chorus is one of my favorite choruses on the album. Um, one of Bono's best vocals on this, and great guitar intro. I thought to me, and there's even what sounds like there's a string arrangement on there too, which I thought elevated it even more, which I liked a lot. But I think that was a great song. So Cruel. It's not one of my favorite songs. Again, there are still some strings on here, some good bass. I did take note of the bass, but it was kind of more mid-tempo. It was solid, but again, didn't really stick with me so much. The Fly. Now, I agree with Scott. I actually like The Fly. It's actually one of the good rediscoveries I made on this album. Like I didn't really remember that one until I came back to this. Maybe because it's definitely a bit heavier. A lot heavier guitar on this one, and thought the verses were really cool. Good switch ups, and again, some good vocal moments from Bono again. So I actually really like The Fly quite a bit. And this is gonna be my sort of hot take. I'm not too crazy with Mysterious Ways. Of the singles, that's one I not really that into. Um, you know, U2 and incorporating that 90s sound. Like sometimes it works, but other times I think it's kind of trying a bit too hard. But yeah, it's not a bad song. Still had some interesting guitar and drums on this one, but yeah, never been one of my personal favorites. Um, Trying to Throw Your Arms Around the World, kind of a more chiller song. Like has an again good melody. I like the vibe of that one. Ultraviolet, that's another nice rediscovery. Going re-listen to this album. There's a nice build up, but then once you get into the main song, it's like really strong. I really love the chorus melody. So yeah, that's another good highlight. Acrobat, getting some nice guitar work, pretty strong track for the most part. And then Love Is Blindness, very good closing song, nice organ intro, and I like the ending, has a kind of a nice good vibe to it. Um, and it's again a nice closing guitar solo. So yeah, I really like that one. So going to my top five. My number five, I'm gonna put Even Better Than the Real Thing. Number four, Ultraviolet. Number three, The Fly. Number two is Where I Have One. And then my favorite song is Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses. And then for a score, I think I will say I didn't really say this already, but I definitely enjoyed everyone's picks this time around, and I think everyone's going to get a pretty good score. And I'm going to give this album a very good 9 out of 10.
Wow, good score. All right, so for me, I really like U2. I love Bono's voice. I think he has one of my favorite lead singer voices. He can hit big notes. He has just a really good. He hits really good high notes as well. And if you get a really good melody, oh my gosh, they know how to do really good melodies and catchy choruses and all that. Achtung Baby, I know I've heard this album maybe a while ago. It's been a while, so I know I've like maybe heard this before. So when you said Achtung Baby, I was like, all right, like I think I like this album, or I think I'm gonna like it. I had a pretty good feeling about it, anyways. And yeah, for me, it's funny. Zoo Station is actually my least favorite song on the album. I really hated the vocals on it. I thought the vocals were terrible. I guess I don't know. That might be my hot take on that one. It's like I don't know. I just could not get into that one.
Watch him do it
Uh,
live. His vocals sound normal on the live versions.
okay. The guitar riff was really good on the album. I mean, on the song, but the vocals were just so bad. I took me out. Yeah, even better than the real thing. I thought was okay. It was not too bad. And then one, yeah, that is one of the all-time great U2 songs. I mean, that was definitely the big one. I feel like anytime anybody talks about this album, I think everybody usually agrees one is like one of the greats, and I agree. Like Bryer said about it, like it's catchy. The vocals are amazing, such a great melody, such a very memorable song. It's like one of those that it's probably a top 10 U2 song for me. Let's see, Until the End of the World again, that was okay, you know. Like I don't know if they're top tier songs, but it's like you still got Bono singing great and you got some good stuff going on in just about most every song. Gosh, Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses? I love this song. And so hearing Bryer talk about it, I was like so excited because I was like, I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, this was the best discovery on this album for me. Is when I got to that song, I was like, what is this song? How do I not know this song? Like, uh, yeah, it's really great. That chorus, yeah, I just love that chorus. Yeah, the "Who's gonna ride your wild horses?" And the way Bono sings it is so great. Yeah, some of the best vocal work on here. And I also really like the drumming. I thought the drumming on this song was really good. So yeah, that was one I really enjoyed. So Cruel I thought was good. Another good one with melodies and vocals. It's funny, The Fly. I thought The Fly was decent. I thought it had a real good guitar riff to it, and I enjoyed it. And I remember Jacob Martin; he's been reviewing our albums, change albums on our on the on our thread or whatever. And I'm pretty sure he said "The Fly" was his least favorite song, and he really it seemed like he really did not like that song. And I was like, "Huh, The Fly." That was interesting. I was wondering everybody's thoughts too, and then we kind of turned out to be like Nick and Jacob seemed like they agree that's a song they didn't like. I think the three of us, or me, Bryer, and Scott, are more on the side of I thought it was a pretty good song. So interesting how that kind of that song's been the dividing song on here. Yeah, Mysterious Ways, of course, that's another song I've heard many times on the radio. I really like it. That chorus as Scott was singing. I was gonna say the same thing that yeah, oh Mysterious Ways. It's so catchy. So yeah, it's definitely a highlight on the album. Trying to Throw Your Arms Around the World, I thought was pretty good. I thought it had a really nice melody to it. Ultraviolet, Light My Way, I liked as well. Same reasons, just great singing, great melody, good guitar work on there as well. Acrobat, okay. And then Love's Blindness, I didn't really care for that one either. To me, my two least favorite songs were Zoo Station and Love's Blindness, the beginning and end. I don't know. I just wasn't, those are just the two songs. Everything else I thought was okay to being really good. So it's like the beginning end, not so great. Everything in the middle, it's got some really good stuff in it. Anyway, so I did a top three, and my top three was number three, I went with Mysterious Ways. Number two, I went with Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses. So I'm right with Bryer. It wasn't my number one, but man, I liked it better than Mysterious Ways, which I didn't think I was gonna like it better than that one. That's the big hit, but I thought, man, this was even better than that one. But yeah, number one, I'm with one. It's like it's just one of the all time greats. It's the typical number one
Would
song
you
on the
say
album.
Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses was even better than the real thing?
Yeah,
No, good to see that you and Briar both liked Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses. I love that song.
yeah. I know three of us. I don't think Nick liked it as much, but he said it was okay. Um, I don't know why. Three of us, or at least me, and Bryer evidently he loved it because he got number one. But yeah, I don't know what that was
Just
just
not it's
so.
a, I'm just not a big '90s guy. That's just what it comes down to.
Right. Yeah, you're not the big 90s guy. And yeah, no, that was a really good discovery on the album. I'm gonna go with an 8 out of 10 on the album. So I'm kind of we're all got different scores. So I'm like right between or I'm right below Bryer, I guess, and Scott. So uh but I'm right there. I thought it was a solid album, YouTube album. And I told Nick I've heard like four pretty good YouTube albums so far. So um none of them are 10 out of 10, but they're all in the 8 to 9 range, I think.
What score did you give
It's
it
a
again?
8.
All right. Scott's album is an 8 out of 10, average wise.
Nice. That stretch of albums they made from War
That's not bad.
through Achtung Baby is just so good.
I
I
definitely
agree
dragged down the score a little bit.
a little bit. Well, it's funny
No,
how we
it's
had 6, 8, 9, 10. We kind of had this
8 average is pretty
all.
good. I'll take it. Nobody put my album under a 5, so that's good.
Exactly. Not too bad. All right. So, Nick, you can go next about what your album is.
All right. I figure I went with soul R&B again, and I could have went with Temptation to Sing Smokey, but I feel like that would have been the obvious one because that has My Girl on it, and I didn't want to make
Yeah.
it too obvious. And I already know everyone's favorite's going to be My Girl, and I just want I want everyone to hear an album where I'm curious what everyone's favorite song is going to be because there's like a couple like somewhat big songs on this album, but like nothing like
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really great R&B album. Since I Lost My Baby, really great album opener. You got David Ruffin, great vocals. Girls All Right With Me, one of the catchiest Motown songs, in my opinion. Girls All Right With Me. Dun, dun. You know the girls all right. It's a catchy song, nothing like it's just catchy. Then you get a ballad, Just Another Lonely Night, great song. My Baby. I, I don't know if that's them trying to like replicate My Girl,
It's
because
a little bit like My Girl, isn't it?
My Girl, My Baby. I'm not sure if they were trying to do like a My Girl 2.0, because
Yeah.
this is the album after the one that My
Okay.
Girl was released on. So I believe, if I'm correct, let me try to give you a little, trying to fact check myself so I'm not, trying not to. This was not written by Smokey, so I can imagine like they're like,
Okay.
hey, write a song like My Girl, but not too much like My Girl, and this is the result you get. But they did, if that is the case, they did a pretty good job. It's a really catchy song.
Yeah, there's some Smokey songs on here, isn't there?
I believe so. Not as much as the last album. That album was pretty much all Smokey.
I know they have to owe a lot to Smokey. Smokey does a good job with the Temptations.
I think this Temptation sing better Smokey than Smokey sings Smokey, in my opinion,
I kind of agree. Yeah.
because of their harmonies.
Mhm.
You've Got to Earn It is catchy. Everybody Needs Love is pretty good. Girl, that's pretty fun. Don't Look Back, that's great. Pass It Behind You, pretty fun. I Gotta Know Now, it's great. Born to Love You, that's a great song. Another great kind of ballad. I'll Be in Trouble is good, and You're the One I Need, great. Closer. Overall, it's a great album, really underrated album. You wouldn't find this on my top albums of the year, because 1965 was such a loaded
Oh,
year.
such a great year.
If this was like 64 or 63, this would be like my favorite
Yeah.
album that year. It's like
Uh,
it's on par with those albums, but like Jason was saying, you have albums like Rubber Soul, My Generation, stuff like that. It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
compete with albums. 5 songs that I really enjoy: Since I Lost My Baby, Girls All Right With Me, My Baby, Don't Look Back, and Born to Love You. And my score will be a 10 out of 10.
nice. All right, Bryer, how do you like the Motown?
Okay, so for a long time, all I've had from the Temptations was greatest hits, was a compilation. So this is actually the first Temptation album I'm actually looking at here. Very lucky to find on CD. I didn't think I would find it that easy,
Yeah.
especially with a lot of these like soul artists. They're pretty hard to come by on CD.
Yeah, because they're more known for their greatest hits than they are for their albums.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed this album. I had some nice moments here. Starting off with Since I Lost My Baby, I thought there was a really good arrangement. Again, I mean, when it comes to the Temptations, of course, the harmony's the main show, and yep, that does not disappoint. They don't skimp on that. Yeah, I thought this was a great way to open the album. Definitely, the song that stuck with me. Then Girls All Right With Me has some nice horns on there, has a more playful sort of vibe, got more falsetto use on this one, which is pretty cool. Again, nice follow-up song. Just Another Lonely Night, good piano intro, and then goes to like this nice slower type of track, very pleasant. My Baby, yeah, you mentioned the micro comparison. My first note was, yep, that sounds like Motown, all right. Yeah. But I still enjoyed the songs. Good piano licks here and there, good string arrangement. Has like a saxophone solo that stuck out. So thought it was a pretty strong song. You've Got to Earn It, more falsetto, has a pretty happy sound. Everybody Needs Love, again, pretty much sounds like a lot of the other songs here's, but still pleasant sounding. Girl, this is where reviewing these albums are going to be tough, because my main critique of these albums are that after a while everything starts to sound the same.
That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, it still sounds good, but there's not too much variety on these albums. It's just got a good arrangement, good harmonies, and it's pretty much just banking on that. But again, Girl is still pretty nice. Don't Look Back, got the strings, but again, some of the criticism I just said ago applies to here. It didn't really stand out to me. I Gotta Know Now has a little guitar in the beginning, which definitely makes it stand out a bit. Good horn section in the bridge, and overall that was pretty solid again. Born to Love You, that's another one I didn't have too much to say. Um, I'll Be in Trouble has a nice piano guitar in this one, pretty good. And then the closing song with You're the One I Need. Again, you have more guitar yet again, and definitely a bit more memorable, nice sax solo, and it does close the album on a nice note. So, top 5. Number 5, You're the One I Need. Number 4, Everybody Needs Love. Number 3, Just Another Lonely Night. Number 2, You've Gotta Earn It. And my number 1 is the first song, Since I Lost My Baby. And in terms of a score, I'm going to give this a pretty good 8.5 out of 10. Again, very enjoyable album. Very glad I got this. But again, my only critique is that some of the songs do kind of blend a bit. There's not too much. Some of the songs don't separate from each other too much. But again, it's got the Temptation sound, and that's still pretty good, I guess. But 8.5.
Yeah, I kind of would agree with that. I was telling like it's hard when you're like listening to Motown and it's like, man, this has such a great sound to it. But yet it's like when you're thinking Rubber Soul is also coming out this year and Beach Boys Today and I think the Birds album. And yeah, they're doing different stuff while this is just like yeah, it does sound a little bit samey towards the end, but it's like it's solid stuff, but it's just not experimenting like a lot of other stuff that's going on in 65. It's kind of interesting, but man, if you like Motown, this is a good Motown album. It has a great Motown sound. I really like the Temptations. Definitely one of my favorite Motown groups. They have such a great sound overall, and so it's you can't go wrong when just got a lot of just nice sounding songs, and even the ones I'm not so excited about, it's like it's still got a good sound to it because of the group dynamic, yeah, and the harmonies and everything. From one of my research, I guess like you basically have like two main lead singers, David Ruskin, I think his name is. And to me, he seems like the more powerhouse singer. He has a very good, powerful voice. I like it. And then there's another guy, now I'm forgetting, his name's Eddie something. And he has more of the high tenor voice. And so sometimes songs he have a little more high tenor voice. And I like that too. I liked his voice as well. Um, I believe Don't Look Back had Paul Williams, another member of the group, sing that. I think I was the only one he sang on the group, but most of them were either Ruskins or Eddie, whatever. And so I do like that we get to. First time I listened to the album, I was like, oh, I didn't know who was singing what or what was going on exactly, but I was like, and I don't know enough about Temptations to even know the member names, of any of these Motown groups really. But I remember just thinking, oh, I like the different voices I'm hearing. They have different people lead singing, which is kind of cool. So you get a little bit different dynamic there. Um, yeah, Since I Lost My Baby, that is such a good song. That is definitely one of my favorite Temptation songs. I don't know if that was a hit song. It should have been. If it wasn't, I feel like it was probably one they probably, I'm sure, put out maybe for like a single, I would think. It leads off the album and everything, but yeah, that Since I Lost My Baby, Since I Lost My Baby. Oh, that is so good. I just love that chorus so much. And overall, it's just a really nice song. The Girls Are Right with Me is another really great song on the album, like right after each other. Yeah, and I was the same thing that Nick said. The girls all right with me. Oh, that's so catchy.
Um, the girl's all right.
The girls all right. Oh yeah, I love that chorus. That was such a catchy song. Love those two things. Yeah, Just Another Lonely Night was okay. And then My Baby, I really like My Baby. And then you said My Girl, and I was like, you're right. It is My Girl. I didn't think about it. I was like, that's why I liked it so much. My Girl is my favorite Temptation song. Obviously, it's the big one that everybody thinks about. But yeah, when they go, My Baby, My Baby, My Baby. Oh, I love it. I love that when they do that. It makes it, and that's what I love about the Temptation sound, the Motown sound. I love that kind of stuff. So I really like that song a lot. But yeah, and a lot of the stuff like yeah, like Bryer saying, kind of start to sound the same, but still solid stuff. I'll just point out, "Girl, Why You Want to Make Me Blue," I thought was really good, and "Don't Look Back," I thought was pretty good too. Then everything else I don't remember as well, but it was like okay sounding. I'm finding that my favorite songs either have "girl" or "baby" in the title. That's what I'm finding out right now. Those are my top songs on the Temptations. Because my top three is number three, I have the girls all right with me. Number two, I have my baby, and then number one, since I lost my baby. So I'm right with Bryer. That's such a good song. But yeah, my top two have baby in the name for some reason. I'm like, I don't know. I love it. I love when they sing about the baby, their baby, whatever. Good stuff there. Overall, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 as well. I thought it was just a really solid Motown album. I think I like the one. I do like the one before better, Reach Out, that we did last time, uh, by the Four Tops, whatever. I like that a bit better than this, but this is still really good.
So I feel like song wise, I like the Four Tops album that we did better, Reach Out, but artist wise, I think I like the Temptations better than the Four Tops. But
Hmm.
the Four Tops, like Levi Stubbs was a great singer, but I felt like,
Yeah.
I felt like the harmonies just weren't there on that album. This, all of them are great singers, and I love their harmonies on here. I guess I kind of like the vibe of the album better than like the individual songs because I can list out a few songs that I thought were really good, but like everyone else kind of mentioned, when you get us to a certain point in this album, you're kind of losing track of what song is what and kind of just vibing with the way that they're singing and listen to the good arrangement. Um, and again, just like the harmonies on this album are just very good. Every song you're gonna get like several different singers. It's just got a nice, easy listening vibe to it, and
Hmm.
honestly, generally a positive vibe from this album puts you in a
Hmm.
good mood. Since I Lost My Baby, I thought was a really good opener. Puts you like just right in the mood of this album. Girls All Right with Me, just like everyone else said, that was a big earworm. I really liked that one. Just Another Lonely Night. It was really great. I liked My Baby as well, even though it does kind of sound like My Girl Part 2. But um, You Gotta Earn It. Everybody Needs Love. Don't Look Back Now. By the time I got to the last song on this album, You're the One I Need, like my phone had stopped playing the album, and I was like, "Is that it?" It's kind of a short album.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of wanted I kind of wanted a bit more. As soon as the song was over, I was like, "That's the end of the album." I was expecting a little more. Um, but again, I really generally like the vibe of this album. My five is going to be number five. Everybody Needs Love. Four, I'm going with My Baby. Three, Just Another Lonely Night. Two, Since I Lost My Baby. And my number one is actually going to be The Girls All Right with Me.
Okay.
And I'm going to give this a solid 8.5 out of, or wait, what? Sorry, 7.5 out of 10. I was deciding between 7.5 or 8. I think I'm going to go 7.5.
Yeah, you're me, you, and Bryer are kind of around the same area.
All right, divide by 4. So my album got a 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, you're in the lead.
I'm not. This isn't like a competition. Trust me.
I know. I
It's
know.
it's only for just.
But I do want
Hey,
to know I do want to know whose album has the best average. Just so we know who's the one that everyone liked the most.
honestly, if I had to guess, I think Breyer's just gonna get the best score because
Yeah.
we'll find out why. Because Breyer's about to introduce this album, but
I forget.
Hidden gem if there ever was one.
Bryer, do you put these out on the poll?
Sometimes.
Okay, I
I
couldn't
mean,
remember.
are you talking about like when I do on my channel?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
he
do it. I
does.
do it. Actually, yeah, I can.
Do you do that
I think
before or after we do the review? I
I do it
forget.
before, like usually like usually the day after. I'll probably do it. I think U2 is in the lead with one. I got the most votes.
That makes
I think
sense.
mine.
Yeah.
I think mine got second. It's either me or you got second, or was it Nick? I think Nick maybe got last place.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Let's
I think I got last place because I had Lou Bega.
Well, yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, because I know I did it for this current one.
Oh, there it is. So, U2 was in the lead with 33.
So not a
UFO
big
has
percentage.
28. Bruce
Okay.
Hornsby got 25, and the Temptations got 14.
Okay. So it's not running
Um,
a work with it, but
Somebody says, I've never cared for Achtung Baby. I thought it was a boring album. Wow.
but that's maybe the more well-known album out of the four. So
Yeah,
that makes
probably
sense
is.
that Uptown Baby would be
Yeah.
there. Anyway, sorry, I just wondered if you had that poll or not, but that's
Yeah.
cool.
So now, only gotten to my pick. So I went with of course, on brand hard rock. We have a band known as UFO. And this is their album, Obsession. Definitely has the most balls than any album cover I ever seen in my life.
What a weird album cover, yeah.
Yep, gotta love Hypnosis for you. They always gotta make it weird sometimes. They have some
Yeah.
brilliant album covers, but then they'll come out with something like this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so UFO. I mean, they're not like a big household name band, but to a lot of hard rock fans, they're pretty well respected. A lot of bands cite them as influences. Bands like Metallica, has, for example, cited UFO as one of their big influences. So this is their 7th studio album. This came out in June of 1978, and kind of brief backstory on this band. So they're a UK based band. They got started in the late 60s, early 70s, and they started because their name's UFO, so it's kind of appropriate. They started out as a space rock act. Shameless plug for
Makes
my
sense.
channel. I did a whole video talking about their first 2 albums.
Okay.
Long story short, they're whatever. but it took them a while for them to actually find their sound. It wasn't until in kind of mid 1973 where their then guitar player at the time couldn't make a show. I forgot what reason. I think there was some transportation issue. So they needed a guitar player, and the band that was opening for them that night was the band Scorpions. This, of course, this is the Scorpions very early on. This is before like Rock Me Like a Hurricane. They were still a brand new band, and
Okay.
they took note of Scorpions guitar player, and that was a very young, like I think like 16 or 17 at the time,
Yeah.
Michael Schenker. And so they asked Michael, can you just fill in? And then he's like, okay. And then they played the show, and they just really liked Michael's guitar playing. So much so they decided to basically steal Michael from Scorpions and just take him for themselves. But so yeah, so early on, there was definitely were tensions in the band, mainly because Michael and the lead singer Phil Mogg didn't quite get along the greatest. And it also didn't help that there was also a language barrier because, UFO's UK and Scorpions were German. And so there was definitely some struggles trying to communicate at first, but they eventually were able to make it work. The first album with Michael Schenker in the band was 1974's Phenomenon. And that was definitely their shifts into the more hard rock sound that they're mostly known for. Has a couple big songs. Probably the biggest song was Doctor Doctor.
I'll say Doctor Doctor is a good song. I listened to that one.
Yeah, that's probably their biggest song that they ever had, I would say, in terms of singles.
Wait,
Rock
how
Bottom.
how does that go?
Doctor Doctor, please, something like that.
Okay, it's a different
Living,
song than I'm thinking.
loving.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talked about a different Doctor Doctor, I think, the last week on
Yes, we did on that.
another album.
We
Yeah.
did.
There's a couple Doctor Doctor songs out there, evidently.
Yeah. The other big song on that album was Rock Bottom. I made Jacob Martin listen to that song when he had a Patreon page, and he loved that song.
Okay.
But yeah, it's clear that Michael Schenker, his guitar playing was definitely what the band needed, because yeah, his guitar playing is incredible. And they released more albums throughout the 70s. You had 1975's Force It with another very interesting cover.
Yes.
Then you got 1976's No Heavy Petting, and then you have 1977's Lights Out. And then finally we got to this album. This was actually recorded in a abandoned post office in Los Angeles, and quite a place to do that in. And probably the big notable thing about this album, this is actually the final album with Michael Schenker on guitar before eventually the tension proved too much and Michael decided to leave. And then he would have his own solo career, which is also pretty solid. I've heard a couple albums from with Michael Schenker by himself. It's actually pretty solid stuff. And he would later reunite with the band in the 90s, but he's been solo ever since. And this did fairly well for them. This was kind of a seller. Obviously, they weren't really a big seller here in America, but in the UK, they did pretty well. This album got to number 50 in the UK charts, so still did not too bad. And that's basically the background info with UFO Obsession. So going into the songs themselves, this was actually the first ever UFO album I ever listened to, because again, people always UFO gets brought up in passing, and I was like, I have to listen to a UFO album, and I decided to go with this one. And I gotta say, great one I started with, I must say, because it starts out with only you can rock me, and right off the gate, that guitar riff with a snap, I was already hooked in. Just this good heavy guitar riff out of the gates. You even got some organ playing on this one, which is pretty cool, because this was actually a recent addition. I think it was on the last album they started incorporating more keyboards into the sound, and I think the keyboards really are a nice touch. And the drums have this big sound to it, and the chorus is just very catchy, just very memorable. Just a great hook, and of course Michael gets to showcase another great guitar solo. I mean, a lot of the guitar solos on here are just really well done. So again, it's a great way to open the album, and become a live favorite moving forward. From here, you have the next song, Pack It Up and Go, and starts out with a great drum intro that was done by Andy Parker. Really big sounding, very heavy, and again, the guitar is just in your face, just a good headbanger all around. Really good follow-up song. Then you get Auburn Hill, which is kind of more of an interlude than anything. But it's just a kind of a short acoustic guitar keyboard. Kind of has a more fantasy type of thing for some reason. But it's short, so it doesn't really take too much away from it. So it's over before you know it. And then from there goes to Ain't No Baby, another really good, really pretty guitar intro, with some nice bass underneath. And then it's almost set up like it's going to be a ballad. But then at some point, it just quickly switches up, and now it's going back to the hard rock. This, again, not very good, more mid-tempo song, but again, has a very solid chorus. And then it kind of goes back and forth between the mellow and the heavy. So you get that duality, which is pretty nice, with another good guitar solo, too. And then you have an actual ballad for once. You have Looking Out for Number One. And that one, you have the strings on here and some piano. And this is just a really surprisingly beautiful song. Like, you would not think a band like UFO would have like a ballad in them.
Yeah.
But they actually pulled it off really good, and vocally very strong. I think this is definitely where Phil Mogg gets to showcase his vocals a lot more. He does a really good job on the ballads and the more heavier stuff. But I love the chorus to it, and I think the drumming keeps it moving with another wonderful guitar solo. So that's one I always like a lot. Hot and Ready, going back to the more heavy side, good guitar riff yet again, driving beats, a good rocker through and through. Cherry is actually one of the singles. Nice easy guitar and vocal intro, kind of easing your way in, and then it just keeps building before you get to the main song, and it's always switching between the two modes again, which is very, very cool. Another strong track to me. You Don't Fool Me, kind of more back to basics rock. I think of the main songs that aren't an interlude, this is usually my one I would put near the bottom, but I still think it's pretty solid. Still pretty good. And then you get Looking Up for Number One, Reprise. So yeah, the title says it all. Not much to say there. Again, short, doesn't. It's kind of like Wasted Time Reprise from Hotel California. It's over before you know it. Yeah. But at least this one's spaced out more than Hotel California. But besides that,
Hey, there's a record flip you're forgetting about.
oh yeah, but on a CD, you don't get that.
Anyway. You're behind your time, Don Henley. For being such a perfectionist, you should have seen that coming.
Yep.
Hope I don't get copyright flag for saying Don Henley.
Yep.
They love their copyright.
Oh yeah, they do. But from that point on, we have one more for the rodeo. We here, yeah, cowbell, more cowbell, baby. Yeah, some more good guitar work on this. Another driving rhythm, like the chorus, like overall, like the song. And then you have a really another good ballad to close up the album with "Born to Lose." Again, really nice guitar intro, and the strings are back here, giving it this very lush sort of approach. And I love the chorus to it. Again, very surprisingly beautiful for a band called UFO. And I just think it's a really good, really strong way to close up the album. It's definitely one I always go back to. So going to my top 5, my number 5, I'm going to put Born to Lose. Number 4, I have Cherry. Number 3, Looking Out for Number 1. Number 2 is Pack It Up and Go. And my number 1, kind of biased because, again, it was the first UFO song I ever heard. Only You Can Rock Me. Funny how my number 1 and number 2 are the first 2 songs on the album. But in terms of my score, I mean, it's very tough. I mean, I really want to give it a 10 because there's that closeness I have. Again, it's the first one I checked out from UFO. But again, there's a couple like little, not as quite good moments. Like again, the interludes I can do without, and maybe some of my bottom in terms of like the main songs, kind of like maybe my bottom 2 aren't as strong, but still pretty solid stuff. I don't think there's really anything I truly hate on this album. So that said, I'm still going to give this a very high score. I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10 because I think there's another UFO album I like slightly more.
Is Phenomenon considered like their best one, or
It's I would say
or
it's
is it
either
the one before
or
this one?
Yeah, it's either Lights Out and this album are the 2 that usually people go back to.
Yeah, I
the
think I've
most.
heard Lights Out. People like Lights Out or something like that. So I need to check out those albums.
All I'm
maybe.
going to say is that 1975 album cover makes Head Games by Foreigner look like a John Denver cover.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't even look at that cover. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wow, UFO, never heard it. Here's the problem with this album, Bryer. I already made my top 10 1978 list, and now I got to change the list because of this album. That's the problem. This album's so good, it made my top 10 of 1978. So I got to go back
Alright.
and rearrange my 1978 album top 10 now.
Awesome.
No, this is a really good album. I didn't know what to expect about UFO. Never heard of them, except I'm sure I've heard Bryer mention UFO. Just like Bryer mentions Renaissance or Camel, and I'm like, I don't know any of these bands. He probably mentions them every once in a while, and
Don't forget Uriah Heep.
Uriah Heep's another one. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know who these people are. So UFO, yeah, and I'm thinking like hard rock. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I remember I didn't like the one album you had on here. It was just too hard rock for me. I want to say it was called Rainbow or something.
Yeah, it was the Rainbow one.
Rainbow one. Everybody loved it, and I was like the one like, it was just like too hard rock for me or something. Anyways, but I didn't think this was too hard rock. I said this was like arena rock, maybe was my take on it. I don't know. It wasn't like, Black Sabbath hard rock to me or something. I felt like it was like I would almost compare this to like maybe Queen or something. Like I thought it was right in that wheelhouse of like really great guitar work. I thought the lead singer was really good on UFO as well. It's like not on the level of Queen, but yet I can see if you like Queen, I think you would like this as well. And of course, Bryer likes Queen, so I'm just like, yeah, this seems like it'd be right down at your alley as far as that was my take on it. And that's why I like the album, I think, because I thought the guitar work just reminds me a lot of like what I hear on Queen albums. I think it's so good. Like what an underrated guitar player, I guess. I never heard this Michael Shinky guy, and I'm like, this guy's amazing. Like there's so many great guitar riffs and guitar solos throughout this album. I think that's the real MVP of the album for me is the guitar work on here. And like I said, I thought the lead singer was really good too. Like I thought it worked very well. And yeah, this is such a hidden gem album. Like I was really surprised that I was not expecting to like this album at all. And yeah, the very first song is so good. Only You Can Rock Me. Like I said, has great guitar, yeah, playing riff, whatever. But the chorus is so catchy. Like I wasn't expecting to get the super nice catchy chorus, but yeah, I think maybe probably the best chorus on the whole album. I would say that right now. It's such a great chorus and it really gets in your head and you're like, oh man, like I didn't expect that. So yeah, great overall. Like it rocks, but yeah, it has good melodies in it, and that guitar solo was really good in it as well. I really like that. So yeah, really good song. It Pack Up and Go, I thought was really good. Again, I thought it was a really good rocking song. Great guitar playing there. Yeah, Arbor Hill, I thought was fine. I like the flutes in it. Ain't No Baby, another really good song. I called it. My notes. I said I really like the melodic guitar playing intro. I thought it was real pretty, that intro part. Yeah, then it rocks too, so I like that. And I thought it was also very catchy. I think this is one that was like, "We are golden," and like that. And I like that. I thought that was really catchy, and I was like, "Yeah, this is really great." Looking out for number one. I mean, I love ballads, so I love this song. Uh, I love the strings. I was like, yeah, you're like, man, this is a rocking album, and then all of a sudden you get string arrangement. You're like, wow, I love that. I love when rock bands do that. Like, I love Changes from Black Sabbath. It's like I love when a hard rock band. It's like I love when Green Day does, Time of My Life or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like,
wake me up
yeah,
when September ends.
Wake Me, yeah. I love it when Red Hot Chili Peppers does Scar Tissue. It's like, yeah, I love when a good hard rock band, whatever a rock band, does something like that and changes it up. Like, oh, it sounds great. So yeah, it's a nice piano playing on here. Yeah, was not expecting that at all. Yeah, Hot and Ready, I thought was decent. Sherry's pretty good. You Don't Fool Me, yeah, and my all my notes are the same. Just really good guitar playing, and the singing's really good. Yeah, looking out for number one, I thought was cool. It was like a minute or something. Like, I don't mind that at all. One for the rodeo is okay. It's maybe the one I would none of the songs were bad. I think it's just like they're okay. And then Born to Lose, I thought was a good closer as well. Anyways, yeah. So my top three I put on number three I put Ain't No Baby. Number two, Only You Can Rock Me. And number one, I went with the ballad, looking for number one. I don't know. I just love a good ballad from a rock band. It's always going to probably be my number one anytime a rock band throws out yeah, kind of
That's a
more
good pick.
ballad type. I expected that was going to be your number one because it's the ballad, but you went with, yeah.
I
Only You
went
Can
for the
Rock Me is
bias.
great. Yeah.
So
Is
we,
Only You Can Rock Me, is that like the song that most people take away from this album? Or
I mean, it was definitely a single. It's like a live
okay.
favorite.
I can
Jason's
see
number
it.
one from U2 was one, and his favorite for this
Yeah.
one is Looking Out for
Looking out
Number
for number
One.
one.
If it has
Uh,
number one in the title, then it's going to be Jason's number one.
That's true.
And it's a ballad too.
Yeah.
That'll give it more points.
It's a ballad. Like I love the ballads. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. This is a great rock album that everybody should listen to.
All right. UFO Obsession. I had never heard this before. I've seen it at the record store a few times since Breyer's mentioned it. I just haven't picked it up. It's usually pretty cheap too, so maybe next time I see it, I'll get it. It's always like $8 or less, so pretty good deal for this record. If I'm may say so there. So this is kind of a hidden gem. I hadn't ever really heard of this before, but man, right from the beginning, Only You Can Rock Me. Heavy guitar, and the guitar solo, man, it just like plays so fast. It's just crazy. You get the second song, Pack It Up and Go. That's even heavier. The guitar riff on that is probably the best
Yeah.
riff on the whole album. That mixed with the drums, man, heavy stuff on that one. Then Arbory Hill, you're like, what? You're just switching it up completely. It reminded me of Star Rider by Foreigner, but then it was just an instrumental. I was ready for like a prog rock kind of like Star Rider type song, and then I was disappointed that it was just an instrumental. But they at least had the potential to do that. They could have turned that into a full-fledged song. I thought that would have been cool. Ain't No Baby, pretty good. Looking Out for Number One, amazing. I'm right there with Jason and Bryer. I like it whenever hard rock bands do ballads.
Yeah.
Not because they're selling out or they're trying to be too
Right.
soft. It's because it shows another side of them. It's like we're more
Yeah,
than just
true.
this. We can do this too. I was listening to I'm listening to albums for 1976, and I was listening to Destroyer by Kiss. And
Mhm.
you know, that's the album that has Beth on it, and you get that it's completely different than anything else on the album, but it still fits because it's like, you know, they're like, here's another side of us. Same thing with this here, Looking Out for Number One. It's this extreme, man, most of the stuff on this album is just heavy stuff, but then you get this ballad with still with good guitar playing too. It's like you know, Neil Sean from Journey also. You know, Journey, they have the hard rock and then, you know, the
Mhm.
ballads, but that still has good guitar playing. You know,
Mhm.
Michael Schenker here like still knows how to play good guitar over a ballad. So I really like that one. Hot and Ready, Cherry, really good. You Don't Fool Me. One for the Rodeo was pretty good. Yeah, we got to Looking Out for Number One reprised, and it was pretty much just an instrumental version of Looking Out for Number One, but much shorter. And I was like, oh, another instrumental. But you know what? The instrumentals on this album don't really detract from the album. They're
Mhm.
just kind of like little interludes that's kind of bringing the tone down before they hit you with something else. Born to Lose, the final song, another ballad I thought was really good as well. So yeah, all really good. I will say my nitpick is I didn't really think the lead singer was amazing. I thought
Mhm.
it was kind of more about, you know, it was the Michael Schenker show. Every one of these songs was
Yeah.
just like him going crazy on the guitar.
Yeah.
I feel like the singer did better on the ballads than he did on the rocking songs. If you ask me, like his voice kind of
Okay.
seems more suited for the ballad. I don't, I'm not a UFO expert, so I may be saying stuff that's angering the purist on this, but I'm not. This is just first impressions. Maybe if I listened to it more, then my thoughts would change. But I thought the vocalist was good, but I feel like his voice kind of suited the ballads more. I don't know who the drummer is, but the drummer on this album is amazing.
Yeah, Andy Parker's his name.
Andy Parker, he was amazing. Him and Shanker together were kind of the best part of this album. How Shanker would kind of play off of the drummer's rhythms.
Mhm.
That's so overall very good. Top five. I'm gonna go with Born to Lose. Number 4, You Don't Fool Me. 3, Looking Out for Number 1. 2, I'm actually gonna go Only You Can Rock Me. And my number 1 is actually gonna be Pack It Up and Go. I thought that
Okay.
that was very heavy, and the guitar playing was the best on the album on that one. And
Nice.
I'm going to go with an 8.5 out of 10 for my first impression here. That is subject to change, especially if I pick this up, but that's just kind of my first impression. I usually tend to score things a little bit lower
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
listen if I feel like I need to listen to it. Some things right off the bat I'll score it high, but like this is one of those albums I feel like needs to I need to listen to it a bit more before I'll enjoy it more.
Okay. Yeah, this is a good album. And sorry, I was daydreaming. What was your score again?
8.5.
Okay, another 8.5.
Daydream believer.
Okay, so my thoughts on the album. Yeah, I thought this was a good album. I liked it. I will say though, my biggest problem with the album is the start is really strong, and like a lot of the last part is really strong. There's like this middle section I'm not crazy about. Like the first few songs, Only You Can Rock Me, Pack It Up and Go, Albany Hill. Those three songs are really, really good. Like really, really good. Then the next three songs, Ain't No Baby, Looking Out for Number One, and Hot and Ready. I wasn't crazy about those three songs. They weren't bad songs, but they were like mediocre. Like not they weren't terrible, but like they kind of went through one year out the other. Then the last uh section of the album, Cherry, You Don't Fool Me. Those two songs are really good. Um, I guess three of the songs not three, two, Looking Out for Number One reprise I thought was okay. One more for the rodeo I thought was okay, but it ends all. I'll tell you this: the bookends are great. Or You Can Rock Me and Born to Lose, like amazing bookends. I'm like really good stuff. Um, so my five favorite songs are Born to Lose, Well You Can Rock Me, Pack It Up, Albany Hill, and Cherry. Those are like not in any order. But those would be my top 5 if we were
Okay.
doing a review and we were doing a top 5. Score, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. This was a good album. I enjoyed it for the most part. This is another album where I say it's subject to change, for sure. I thought it was a good album. And doing the math again, Bryer and me are tied at 8.5. Again, I will say my score will go up. I definitely need to check out more UFO because Jason's telling me there's other good albums from them. So I'll check them out. Definitely throughout the while we're doing these album of the year, do some new stuff. But yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah, I listened to some Spotify, like they give you like here's songs that are supposed to be popular or get a lot of hits. So I listened to a lot of stuff and I thought there's some pretty good stuff in there. Like Doctor was in there, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good stuff on there. Yeah, I definitely like that. I'm guessing that's like the period I'm gonna like, is that like not too hard. If they get harder on other periods of time, I probably won't like that as much, but we'll see. Space rock, I don't know what space rock is, but let's see. All right, so the album that I had put on the album exchange is called "The Way It Is" by Bruce Hornsby and the Range. It came in 1986, and so I came across this album because a guy I know who has a channel. His name is Rob, and he has a channel called Rob Secure Music, which is kind of play on words because he likes to talk about obscure artists and kind of champion them on his channel. And he's from New York. He's a New Yorker, and he's been very kind to me. He sends me CDs every once in a while. He'll send me a box of CDs, and so I got a bunch of CDs from him that he sent me, which was really cool to unbox them and see, because I have no idea what he sends me until I look at them. And then I've even shown them on the channel before. I think on my birthday, I unboxed one of his CDs, which was kind of fun. And one of the CDs was this CD, The Way It Is. I have the CD, it's in a box. Unfortunately, I don't have access to it at the moment. But so yeah, this was there, and I was like, huh, Bruce Hornsby in the Range. I really didn't know. I think maybe I've heard of the name, but I didn't know that much about it and all this. And so then I put the CD in and I was listening to this album, and I remember just going, wow, there's like 2 songs I really liked that I've heard before that I was like, oh man, he did that song. Like I love that song. Like those are 2 really good songs. And so I remember listening to this album going, yeah, I really like the overall sound. I think they would say this is adult contemporary or something like that. And and some that gets like a bad name. I think a lot of people that I always feel like I always get made fun of for liking certain people, like by the vinyl community people, because the vinyl community people is all about like hard rock and like we all love Black Sabbath and AC/DC, and then when I'm like, what about Lionel Richie? And then I get made fun of, and it's like, okay, so like there's certain artists that are cool to like and some that aren't, and I always feel like this is like one of those artists that probably isn't very cool to like, but I don't know. I really like their overall sound. I thought it was really nice, easy listening. I love the piano playing. Bruce Hornsby plays the piano. Man, he's a good piano player. There's some songs that, man, I love the piano playing on there. As we know, we love Billy Joel, we love Elton John. Like I would say Hornsby is just up there with those guys as far as the piano playing. Like he played some really good stuff on here. And him and his brother wrote all the songs on here. Basically, they wrote the songs, and I guess the Range is kind of the group that he's has around him. I feel like I've tried looking him up on YouTube. I feel like he has a little bit of a jazz edge to him, where he does a little jazz piano, like in his concerts, stuff like that. So maybe he comes from a jazz. That's my feeling, is that he comes from like a jazz piano playing background. But he puts in pop in here. He puts some country in here. I think it all has pretty good sound. I think Bruce has a pretty good voice overall. I like his vocals on a lot of the songs on this album. Anyway, so that's why ever since I heard that album, I was always like, I always felt like this would be an interesting album to put on the album exchange. 'Cause I was really would be interested in what everybody else thought this album, because it's not really a style of album that we've put on the album exchange, or I've put on here. And like I said, I'm not that familiar with Bruce Hornsby, so it's kind of a new artist for me as well. Like most of the albums I put on here are albums I'm really passionate about and I've listened to since I have like a cool story behind it. But this is like one where it's like I have no story, I have no passion towards Bruce Hornsby in the Range, but I just thought this was a nice sounding album, and I thought it'd be a one that I wasn't familiar with. I was curious if anybody else was familiar with it, and if not, I thought it'd be a good album to kind of kind of like UFO. It's like a good album to maybe introduce to people and go, yeah, this is something. If maybe you like it, maybe don't, but I think it could be something good that I would like more people to listen to, because I really like it. Anyways, and then I put it on the album exchange and then I listened to it. And man, I really like this album. I kind of came across going, it was pretty good to going, this is a really good album. Uh, it started with the first song. I thought the first song was so good, On the Western Skyline. Man, that guitar comes in at the beginning, that it does the main theme, bum ba dun 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 dun. Oh, I love that overall like melody, that guitar playing. I thought was so good. And then that chorus, yeah, when they get into that, something, something out there on the western skyline. Oh, maybe one of the best choruses. And there's a lot of good choruses on the album, but man, it was such a good, catchy chorus. This is one of the more upbeat, catchy songs on the album. But man, it was a really good discovery on here. Every Little Kiss I thought was really great as well. I love the piano intro on there. Again, I thought it was a really good catchy chorus, and I thought Bruce really sang well on this. I thought it was really good singing by Bruce on there. Mandolin Rain. This is a song that I heard someone play. It wasn't Bruce. It was actually on American Idol, and a singer played this on American Idol. I never heard Rain before, and he played it, and I was like, I never heard this song before. This song's amazing. I kind of fell in love with this song just by watching. And this was like decade. This might have been a decade ago. I heard Mandolin Rain on American Idol and thought, and I had no idea who wrote it or who sang it. I just thought, man, this is great. And then when I got to this, I was like, oh, Mandolin Rain. This guy did Mandolin Rain. I was like, I love that song from way back. And I listened to this song, and this is a song ever since I've put this album on the album exchange. This is a song I listen almost every day. I love this song so much. This is one of my favorite listens right now. I got it on a playlist, and I listen to it almost every day. I The piano playing's great. Um, the whole song, I love just how the Mandolin Rain. It's play on words of like, it's about a breakup. Girl leaving him, and how it's really about breaking up and being sad about the breakup. And he compares the sound of the rain to a mandolin. So there's a lot of these musical, comparisons. 'Cause he says, "Listen to the mandolin rain, something on the lake," and then he says, "Listen to my heart break as she runs away." So I love the comparison of where listen to the rain. It sounds like a mandolin. It's a very physical thing you can hear, and then he compares it to hear my heart break, which you can't hear a heart break. That's more analogy, whatever. So I love the comparison of like going, listen to the rain, but then listen to my heart break, and then he says, listen to the banjo wind playing a sad song down low. Listen to my tears roll down my face as she turns to go. I don't know. I love the lyrics of this song so much. I've been really delving into the lyrics lately because it just really speaks to me, I think, because I've gone through a breakup that's been really terrible. And when I hear the song, I think about it all the time. Again, I love the listen to the wind. You can hear the wind. Then listen to the tears roll. You can't hear the tears roll, but I don't know. I just love the comparison of just listening to nature and then listening to the sadness that someone has after someone leaves. I don't know. It just really spoke to me, I think, in a deep way. Like one lines about, I try to keep her off my mind. I spend my time trying to keep her off my mind, but some days I'm not so strong. And that lyric just hits me so hard. I think about it all the time. Like I would love to forget about, my relationships, that my breakups, but I can't because those memories are still there in my mind. And they still come back to me. I get triggered and those memories still hit me. I can't get rid of them. They're always going to be there, haunting me forever. Anyway, that's what I felt by Mandalay. Anyway, sorry, I had to talk about that song just because it hits me emotionally. So, anyways, that's Mandolin Rain. Uh, then Long Race is fine. The Way It Is another huge song. And it's got the greatest piano riff of all time, like that da dun 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 da da dun dun dun. Oh, it's so beautiful. And then just the when he goes, "That's the way it is." Do 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 do. Things will never change. Do 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 do. Oh, I love that. It's so catchy. I'm curious to what you guys are gonna say about that one because that's definitely, I think, the big one that everybody likes. And there's a piano solo that is so good, like one of the best piano solos I've ever heard on an album. Really great stuff there. Down the Road Tonight, I thought was really great as well. Really loved the overall melody. Loved kind of there's couple of different people singing together, so there's some harmonies there. Another really great chorus and some good guitar playing as well. Wild Frontier is more country. That's one where he kind of put some country into it. So I'm not as crazy about it because of the country feel to it, but it's okay. River Runs Low, I thought was pretty good, and the Red Plains as well. Anyways, but yeah, overall, really enjoyed this album. So for me, the top three, I went with number three. I went with On the Western Skyline. Of course, I'm going with the big hits here. Number two, The Way It Is, and then number one, obviously, Mandolin Rain has been such a great song for me. I've been listening to it nonstop. Anyways, and overall, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a really solid album.
I'm gonna grab my copy of it. I bought it.
That's right, you did, yeah.
I got the CD.
I have the CD. It's in the basement somewhere.
I
Funny
don't,
because Scott has a different album cover.
Oh, really?
I don't own either of them.
At least,
I know you don't.
at least the photo he's shown. Because I actually looked up. There's actually an interesting history about this album. There's actually two versions of this album.
Oh, okay.
There's the one. This is probably the more common.
That's one I have. Is that, yeah?
Yeah, Scott has a different cover, and I think the songs sound a slightly different on the
Oh,
original,
okay.
Okay, what were you?
especially on
what,
two songs.
what were you talking about?
Different covers, I guess. On
Yeah,
that
because
album.
yours have a different cover than mine.
Yeah. So I wanted to show it because I didn't know. I saw this and I saw the one with that. I had the one with the other cover originally, but I was looking on Discogs, and it said this was a first pressing. So I just bought it. Like, oh, I'll buy this one because it's the first pressing. I was gonna buy the other one because I liked the picture on the other one better. But I was like, oh, this is a first pressing, so I'll buy this one. Apparently, this is actually a collector's item. That's
Yeah.
pretty rare. I got it for $10. I got
Oh.
it for $10. So
Yeah, $10. That's good.
Because
Pretty-
two of the songs sound different than what they sound on this probably more common
yeah.
one.
So
Okay.
apparently, this is the original issue, and then when The Way It Is became a big hit, they reissued it with a different cover because
Oh,
weird.
okay.
That's a weird. The picture is from the back. See, they just took the back cover and made it the front cover.
Okay.
But two of the songs they remixed because they thought that the production wasn't very good or something like that. Because they knew it was going to be a big selling album because The Way It Is was a big song. So I didn't know that this was a big collector's item. So for $10, pretty
There we go.
pretty good. But I actually really liked this album. The first time I heard it, I thought it was kind of boring. I needed another listen. I knew I was going to like it more with another listen. That's why I bought it. I bought it just after one listen, thinking, it reminds me so much of Steely Dan's Asia. The first time I heard it, I was like, I need to listen to this again. Second time I listened to it, yeah, it is a great album. On the Western Skyline is a great way to start out this album. The musicianship on this album is very good. It's got that that Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan kind of vibe to it, with the good musicianship and the great production. Every Little Kiss is awesome. I love that song. Mandolin Rain, Jason was talking about that. That's a good one as well. I like the analogies on there as well. The Mandolin Rain, the banjo wind. It's like, what does that mean? Really good. Long Race is pretty good. My favorite song on this album is The Way It Is.
Oh,
I just love that piano. Do 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 do. And when the piano solo hits in, it's so good. Down the Road Tonight was good. Wild Frontier. I did really like The River Runs Low as well. Apparently, that's one of the songs that sounds different on my copy.
Okay.
Apparently, the drumming is a different performance or something like that is the biggest difference. And Red Plains. I'm gonna have to listen to this even more because I feel like I could like really get into this album. Um, right now I'm gonna give it in. Oh, well, I gotta list my top 5 first. I almost spoiled my score. But my top 5 are gonna be number 5, Down the Road Tonight. 4, Mandolin Rain. 3, On the Western Skyline. 2, Every Little Kiss. 1, The Way It Is. And I'm gonna give it an 8.5 right now, but I can definitely see this going up to a 9 or a 9.5 eventually.
Cool.
All right.
What's your score again, Jason?
A 9. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was a 10 for some reason. I just kept in my mind thinking this could be one of Jason's 10 out of 10 albums. But all right, my thoughts on the album. I'll tell you this is the best album I've heard on this exchange. Of the 3. This is a really good album. Nice album. Nice feel good album. On the Western Skyline is a great album opener. Every Little Kiss was really good. Mandolin Rain, yeah, I could see why Jason really likes this one. This was definitely a nice little, definitely a highlight on the album. Long Race was pretty good. Way It Is, oh, what an amazing song that was. That I was shocked. I didn't know what to expect, but I was really happy with that song. Down the Road Tonight was good. Wild Frontier, I enjoyed. River Runs Low, I enjoyed. And The Red Plains was a good album closer. 5 favorite songs. The opener on the Western Skyline. I'd say the first 3 songs are my 5 favorite.
Those are three good songs. Yeah.
The Way It Is, my number, not in any particular order. It's the fourth song I really like, and River Runs Low. That's another one I really liked. Score, I'm gonna give this a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, nice.
And this is subject to change to being a 10. I need to listen to it more. But yeah, I'm surprised I gave this a higher score than Jason because
Yeah, higher than me.
I was like, that's why I assumed this would be a 10 for Jason because I liked it. I was like, I was afraid you were gonna be disappointed. It wasn't like a 10 for me, but so I had
a great score.
higher than you. But yeah, so yeah, I'm giving it a 9.5. I thought this was the best album I've heard in this in this exchange, in my opinion.
Awesome. All right, Bryer.
All right. So I know I've heard the name. I'm sure I've heard The Way It Is in passing at some point.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things like you probably hear it in probably when you're going out. You probably didn't pay much attention to it at the time. So it's definitely interesting to go into this one. And I will say I definitely came in liking it way more than I thought I would because I kind of didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But starting with the album, you got On the Western Skyline. I think it was a pretty good way to open the album. This is one of those this song and The Way It Is are songs I feel like I might have heard in passing, but I don't know if I heard it. If I'm just imagining it. But it's still a pretty nice way to open it. Kind of almost gave me like a Heartland rock sort of vibe. It still has a very nice, good feel to it. Again, I think for the most part, I really enjoyed Bruce's vocals. I think he's pretty solid all the way through. So again, On the Western Skyline, pretty decent album opener. Every Little Kiss, I definitely think was definitely a stronger, nice, good follow-up song. I think it's definitely a bit stronger. Great piano intro. Again, nice, good guitar melody on this one, and the vocal melody is really good. So I really enjoyed that one. And yeah, Mandolin Rain, I think it was another good highlight. Good piano melody, very chill song, but still has you can tell there's good emotion behind it. And of course, there is very subtle mandolin in there. I was about to say, if you didn't have mandolin, help you false advertisement. But still, that was a nice little discovery there for me. The Long Race, slightly rocking. There's a lot more electric guitar on this one. I think this one, I definitely thought the verses were a bit stronger. I thought the chorus was fine, but it had a nice guitar solo. So, and then you have The Way It Is, the big hits, and yeah, I see why it was the big hits. And yep, it's probably definitely very memorable. Good piano throughout the song, and again, his vocals were pretty good. So yeah, I can see why it was a hit, but kind of like the U2, also not my favorite song on here. But from here, we have Down the Road Tonight. Again, nice, good guitar and the piano really working off each other well with some harmonica and a pretty good chorus again. And so, yeah, very, very strong track again. The Wild Frontier. This one I felt the bass was a bit more prominent, which was nice. But it's kind of one. It has a very similar feel to the first song. Again, kind of has a Heartland rock sort of vein, which I thought was fine. But still okay. Now here comes. I'm probably going to come out probably the most positive because probably my favorite discovery was The River Runs Low, because I think that song best kind of showcases him as a vocalist, because I really loved his vocal performance on that one, and I also really love the chord progression, especially when he's doing the chorus. Just a really good deep cut on here. So yeah, that's probably was a great discovery. And then the Red Plains I thought was a very solid closer. So my top 5, number 5, I'm going to go with Mandolin Rain. Number 4, I have Down the Road Tonight. Number 3, I have Every Little Kiss. Number 2 is The Way It Is. And my number 1 is, shockingly, The River Runs Low.
River Runs Low, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I played that song, since I heard this album, I have played that song like 50 times.
Ah, cool.
So,
I like that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But yeah. So going to the score. Again, very, very solid album. I definitely had a nice time with it. I think I'm kind of like Scott and Nick. I think on future listens, I think I can see this one going up more. But as of now, I'm just giving it a very, very high 8 out of 10. Very enjoyable stuff.
All right, good.
Well,
I'm glad you like that, because like I said, it's not one that I was real familiar with, but I wanted to throw it out there to see what people thought. So that's cool.
technically, it is an 8.75, the average, but like Scott's, I rounded down to I
8.5.
rounded it to an 8. I'm going to round this to an 8.5. So I'd say not bad. I mean, 8 and 3, 8.5.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good album exchange.
8.5, 8.5, 8.5. Yeah, that's actually really good. Yeah, I'm glad I gave positive scores on all 3. I'm glad. I hate giving bad scores on an album, so it's always nice when you have a positive album exchange and you feel pretty good about it. But you never know. You just throw them out there and see what people think.
But I guess that's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Some things never change, but don't believe it. Okay. Anybody have ideas about the next album exchange?
Well, I'm telling this. I said this to you guys before. Scott, this will be your first time, and I'm forcing you to listen to this album. Volume 4 of Black Sabbath. I know Bryer and Jason have
all right,
but I wanted you to.
R.I.P. Ozzy.
Jacob
I'm up for
liked it. Jacob liked it. Jason liked it. Bryer likes it. I like it. You're the only one in our group who hasn't listened to it yet, so I have to do it.
Okay. Yeah, and what is it? Ryan Cameron keeps wanting me to listen to that too. So every time I ask what should I listen to, that's always what he requests.
Volume 4.
Okay.
Well, for me, I always think, me and Nick, we love talking about sports. Bryer and Scott, we don't talk about sports as much, but I thought next time we talk about sports.
I like that sports. I know that album.
Okay.
I love that album.
It's a sports
I have
by
it
Who
too.
Lewis and News. So
that's two albums I don't need to buy.
That's a good album.
this
Okay.
may be sports you guys will enjoy.
Yeah, that's 2 albums I don't need to buy now.
All right.
That is nice.
It's up to Scott now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Scott's the only one I need to buy.
Yeah, and then I think you know what it is.
Red Hot
I know.
Chili
It's
Peppers.
going to be a 2-parter. And so it's the Stadium Arcadium by Red Hot Chili Peppers. We're going to be talking next album exchange about the first disc, which is called Jupiter. And then we'll do Mars, the album exchange after that. because it's a long album, and I would not make you guys sit through that whole thing for this album exchange. So we're gonna split it up into a double album. So we'll do the Jupiter disc, this next one, and then the Mars disc, the one after that. If you've heard Danny California or Snow, those are the big songs on that album.
Yeah, those are good.
All right. And I do have an idea for mine. Might as well. It's kind of similar to Jason with the Bruce Hornsby. Like, I'm just curious to see what everyone thinks of it. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I can cover up the name. So this is actually a solo artist. So real quick, do you recognize this face?
I do not.
Who is she?
Well, you should know the band she was in. She was from ABBA.
Oh,
Agneta Folkskog.
Oh,
okay. It's one of the members of ABBA solo album.
She
All
did
right.
solo.
Yeah, this is called Wrap Your Arms Around Me. This is 1983. This came out. A couple big things. This is the first album post the breakup, the initial breakup.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is also her first all English album. Because she
Okay.
had solo she had solo albums prior, but they were all in
That's good.
Swedish.
'Cause I speak English.
What is this? Samuel Jackson. English.
Yeah.
Do you speak it?
Yeah, so again, so this is pretty. I just bought it at random, and I just thought,
Okay.
I thought I liked it, and I liked it. So just curious what everyone else thinks.
Okay.
I'm having a good feeling about this album exchange. I'm liking it.
Nice.
I know. Yeah, I know two of the albums. I guess mine and Nick's.
I think you'll like mine, Jason.
Yeah.
It's got
I
a
like Red Hot
similar
Chili Peppers.
vibe to Californication, and by the way,
Mhm.
a little more rock centric, but similar vibe to those two.
Okay, I'll write those down. All right, awesome. Great albums change. So happy everybody enjoyed that anyways, and hope anybody out there watching knows anything about these albums. Of course, comment if you want. Appreciate anybody watching. Appreciate doing these and discovering new music and all that. It's really fun, like UFO. Who knew, stuff like that. And besides that, thanks to you, Scott, Nick, and Bryer. Didn't get any comments, but that's how it is on album exchanges sometimes.
It's just the way it is.
Just the way it is.
Ba-da-dun, ba-da-dun, ba-da-dun. That's gonna be a new. That's gonna be a new joke.
It's a new one, yeah.
Throw that on with the trash can and too long and too bluesy and not that funny.
Yeah, or are we doing the "It's all right" or whatever? I'm doing all right, and then Nick always goes into the Queen.
Right.
And it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah.
That's the other
It's
one. Every time I say it's too late,
late,
it's
It's
Never-
late.
right
Yeah.
the Queen.
But
Every time
not-
Jason calls dinner supper, I just immediately think supper's
Yeah.
ready.
Supper's ready. Yeah, all the time. I'm always like, I'm eating supper, and supper's ready. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
I just immediately think supper's ready because I'm so used to calling it dinner. I don't know if it's like a Midwest thing to call it supper or not, but
Maybe.
What if that whole
Yeah.
song was just Peter Gabriel's hallucinations because he was hungry, and as soon as he had his supper, it just went away?
that should flour. Oh, I can't imagine it. I'm seeing
All right.
flowers.
Baking a cake.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you later.